Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right, I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish. I'm speaking to you from the Built Ford Tough studio, FedEx Forum, downtown Memphis. Bennett Doyle right there producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you're ready for what should be a fun Monday night. I hope it's a fun Monday night. The Grizzlies are in New York City. They're going to be playing the Knicks tonight in Midtown Manhattan. 3.5-point underdogs trying to extend their winning streak from 6 to 7. It comes after we had a fun one on Saturday night. Zach Edey,
yes, we did.
Drew Eubanks, John Morant, all adding to the excitement. We'll talk about it momentarily. First, though, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. In the next segment, about 20 minutes, talk to Michael Eaves. He, of course, is a SportsCenter host, ESPN. AFC Championship game was yesterday. NFC Championship game was yesterday. Once again, we're going to have a Chiefs and Eagles Super Bowl. The Chiefs got there. Close win over Buffalo. Controversial call that went Kansas City's way. I talked to Michael Eaves about all of it. He's going to be here in about 15 minutes. When I finish talking to Mike, I'll take a break, come back, do 5 more things you need to know, at which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, Penny Hardaway's Tigers had no problems with UAB this weekend, pounded the Blazers, won the Battle of the Bones. I'll tell you where I got Memphis in the top 25 and 1. We're going to do it in about 40 minutes or so. Auburn added an 11th quadrant 1 victory this weekend with a come-from-behind win over Tennessee. Janai Broome played for the first time in 2 weeks. He was good. Tell you about that situation and how big of a gap Auburn is creating between itself and everybody else in the sport. We'll do that a little later on in the show. Timothy Chalamet was both the host and the musical guest on SNL this weekend. I thought he was pretty great. We'll spend some time on that a little later on in the show. Weird situation in Phoenix between the Suns and Yusuf Nurkic. I'll fill you in on that situation. We'll do that in the third segment. And then America's foremost burger expert has disclosed his top 3 fast food burgers. I'll make Bennett try to guess them. We're going to do that during a segment we call 5 More Things You Need to Know. Then we'll eventually get to GP's Carryout and we'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to, but I did want to start with your Memphis Grizzlies because game 47 of a scheduled 82, it's set for tonight in Midtown Manhattan. Grizz Knicks inside Madison Square Garden. That's the world's most famous arena. Barring travel issues, I'm planning to be there. And when I get there, what I'm going to be watching is a Grizzlies team that's now 31-15 on a 6-game winning streak and essentially tied with the Rockets for second place in the Western Conference standings. The Rockets are percentage points ahead, but essentially tied. We could fix that by the end of the night. Big Bet Bennett, no issues this weekend. Beat the Pelicans by 13 without John Morant. Beat the Jazz by 22 with John Morant. And a 22-point win over the Jazz with John Morant provided one of, I think, my favorite moments of the season so far. Drew Eubanks almost caught an ass whooping.
I know. Again, yeah.
He almost caught an ass whipping. Big Bet Bennett, what were you thinking when Drew Eubanks almost caught an ass whipping inside FedEx Forum on Saturday?
Well, honestly, what I was thinking, I'm just going to be honest with you because I said this on Twitter over
I
the weekend.
saw what you said on Twitter.
Yeah. Some people pushed back against it.
Trying to be objective, and now, you know what?
Sorry.
You know what? You know what? I don't even know if you should be wearing that sweatshirt right now.
Dude, I'm like the biggest Grizzlies homer there is. All right, okay, I could be a little objective. I didn't think he should have gotten tossed from the game. And the reason being is because, like, first off, you're trying to sell me on rivalry week. I know that technically wasn't our rivalry week game, but whatever.
I consider Utah a rival of mine. I've always considered Salt Lake City a rival of mine. Personal rival.
I don't know, man. I think that if you want... I'm not saying like bring back fighting or anything like that in the NBA. I'm saying like pushing and shoving, bumping each other, stuff like that. Like I actually do think you need to bring that kind of stuff back because if you want people to get invested in like rivalries in this league, that's how you do it.
Bennett, that was a violent act.
That's fine.
It was an act of violence. Do you realize if Drew Eubanks would have ran that exact same way
into John Morant,
into Yuki? Do you realize what he would have done to Yuki?
I do.
He would have killed Yuki.
Yeah, but he didn't run into Yuki. He ran into Zach Edey.
Okay, but you ready for this? Is a foul a foul? If we're watching a basketball game and you go, regardless of whether it's against Zach Edey or Yuki, is it a foul?
It's a foul.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's going to impact Yuki a lot more than it's going to impact Zach Edey.
That's right.
All right? But we agree there's still fouls. Just because Zach Edey can play through that and maybe somebody Yuki's size can't, we still say fouls are fouls. This is the thing Shaquille O'Neal used to get angry about all the time. Like, these guys are hanging on me. Just because I'm strong enough to deal with it doesn't mean that they're not hanging on me. These are fouls. If Drew Eubanks would have ran into John Morant or Yuki or just a smaller human, he would have knocked them completely down. Like,
no, that's true.
And then they would have been clearly thrown out of the game.
That I agree.
So then your only argument is based on Zach Edey is 7'4", 305 pounds, and he can take it.
I think if you would have asked Zach Edey if he thought Drew Eubanks should have been ejected from that game, he would have probably been like, nah.
No, he'd have said, no, let him stay out here. Let him walk him down
come
again.
Get some, bro.
That was the best. For people who don't know what happened, let's
relive it.
Okay, so let's just talk through it. All right? John Morant and Keontae George had a little thing on the court. All right. And it was a little thing. They got tangled up.
Grabbing.
It was, I want the ball. Now you can't have the ball and that type of thing, right? The refs come in. Everybody comes in. No big deal, really. But then this big goofy Drew Eubanks tries to get involved. He puts his hands on Ja.
Yep.
Ja didn't like that.
Taylor Jenkins didn't like it either.
No.
He was yelling.
So then Josh shoved him back, right? Then Zach Edey stepped in to make sure big goofy Drew Eubanks ain't going to be allowed to put his hands on a 6'2", 175-pound point guard without having to deal with the 7'4", 305-pound center. Like, you're going to put your hands on my guy, now I'm going to put my hands on you, right? So and then there's another moment, and I'll let Ja tell that part of the story. But it all leads to this situation where Drew Eubanks runs full speed into Zach Edey, and then not only does he not get the result I'm assuming he was shooting for, the whole situation flips immediately because we go from Drew Eubanks running full speed into Zach Edey to Zach Edey walking Drew Eubanks down like he knows he's got some hoe in him. He knew he had some hoe in him and walked him down the whole time. Kyra, if we got it, let's watch Zach Edey walk Drew Eubanks down like he knows he's got some hoe in him. Walk him down. Walk him down. I knew you had some hoe in you.
I love it, though.
I love it. Bro, you think...
Yeah.
That right there matters. That part right there matters where Ja looks up at Zach. That matters. Kyra, can we watch it? I don't know how quickly we can get it back to going, but can we watch it one more time? Because I think the end of that matters. Oh, he hit him hard, Bennett. Watch when Ja looks up at Zach.
Why are you backing up, Drew?
Because he's got some hoe in him.
Why are you backing up,
Because he's got hoe in him.
I'm starting to wonder why Isaiah Stewart punched you in the face in the parking lot.
Well, this is the problem. Like, why does Zach Edey and Isaiah Stewart, who I imagine don't have much in common, but they both want to fight you? All right? I bet Zach Edey and Isaiah Stewart don't have much in common, but they both want to fight you. What does that say about you?
Yeah.
Walked him down. He knew he had some hoe in him. That's what that was. I did think he deserved to get ejected because the only thing that didn't make that a violent play that goes viral, I mean, it went viral anyway because of what happened next. But the only thing that is because Zach Edey is a big human being.
And I think he would.
If that dude ran into me like that, I would have been flying and hurt. I would be hurt. I might be dead.
Well, and he would have gotten tossed anyways because it would have been because he got a technical during that whole pushing and shoving before then, so he would have probably gotten tossed anyways. I just didn't think it was a flagrant two. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
So then after the game, obviously they go to the locker room and they got John Morant sitting there, and John talks about the whole situation and delivered another hilarious quote. Let's watch that one if we got it, Kyra.
Okay. It was a screen and bro kind of like mugged me, and then Zach came over like, he bothering you? And I'm like, nah, bro. And then, the first technical happened. So then I guess Zach thought I was lying. And then he became the enforcer that he is for this team. So shout out my big fella. I got that tech for him. So he ain't got to worry about coming out of pocket.
Zach is not going to have to reach into his rookie deal to cover
Love
any
it.
fine that comes with this.
I
John
love
Morant said between a Nike contract and a Grizzlies contract, we got this thing covered. Don't even worry about it. But I just think it's hilarious. Like that scene, I'm going to believe it happened exactly as Josh said. Mm-hmm. I'm going to subscribe to that version of events because that version of events is hilarious to me. Because that is like what happens in a bar. Okay? That is what happens if you're a respectable man and you see some creep show guys being creepy with some women over here. Uh-huh. That's the type of thing that if you are you walk over and you might look at these women and say, "Is he bothering you? Are they bothering you? Because if so, I can handle this. I just want to make sure you're okay. Because if he's bothering you, I'll handle this. If it's cool, it's cool, but I just want to make sure you're okay. Because if he's bothering you, I'll handle this." That is what Zach Edey did to John Morant. He walked up to Ja like he was a woman in a bar and said, "Hey, I'm looking out for you. Is he bothering you? If so, I'll handle this." Mm-hmm. I love everything about it. I love everything about it. And Ja loved it too. That scene at the end, everybody focuses on Drew Eubanks running and Zach Edey walking him down. The scene at the end where Ja looks up like, yeah, let's go. Mm-hmm. That's team building. That's how you get chemistry.
That's right.
That's how you get a great workplace environment. Because that's what that is for them. I know they're basketball players playing basketball, but that's their workplace. Yeah. Those are their coworkers. That's how you ask anybody who's ever worked around other people. It's much easier when people get along. It's better when people like each other or enjoy each other or at least respect each other. That was a moment that whatever their relationship is, that moment on Saturday enhanced it.
Yeah, and I just it's first off, Edey had a good week. Like that's another thing that gets kind of lost in this whole thing is Edey had a nice week here in this building. Like he's played well, and I just love that, man. That he's saying he's our enforcer, like because. He has not backed down from anybody. Like we've seen it all season long. Like he has not one time, whether it be a veteran, a Drew Eubanks, anybody,
Draymond Green,
Valanciunas, like Edey does not back down.
Like that says something about you when as a rookie,
yep.
Like not even halfway through, and Draymond Green's out there doing Draymond Green stuff with you, and you make it clear like, yo, man, I ain't the one to play with.
Right?
Don't I know I'm a rookie, but I'm also 7'4", 300 and something pounds. Mm-hmm. I ain't the one. If you hit me, I'm gonna hit you back.
You need that out of a center too, a traditional center. Like that you need that. You got to have a little bit of that in you. I feel like.
I love it. He's not gonna go start anything with anybody, but he will not allow you to mess around with him or his teammates. That's been clear. That's been clear pretty quickly throughout this rookie season. If you hit him, he's gonna hit you back. If you pop one of his teammates, he's gonna pop you back. And if he spots one of his teammates possibly in trouble, he will walk over and ask, "Is he bothering you?" That is the funniest way to handle that situation.
I know. It's so good.
"Is he bothering you?" is the funniest thing you could say to John Morant. I love every bit of it. Love every bit of it.
You better watch out, Karl Towns.
Watch out, Karl Anthony Towns.
Be careful tonight.
You don't want to be next, Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah. Don't make us put you in the third row at MSG.
Don't make us put you in the.
We got an enforcer now.
Yeah. Call Drew Eubanks and ask him what he got involved in. Ask Drew Eubanks if he wishes he could undo part of his life from the weekend. All right? Don't make the same mistake, Karl Anthony Towns. Learn from Drew Eubanks.
Learn from Drew Eubanks.
Learn from Drew Eubanks. Michael Lee's up next.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Morant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans, and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
There's no substitute for experience, the knowledge gained from having been there before, and the passion to share what you know to make everyone around you better. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
I'm not going to let you get away with this.
Yeah, that's fine. I deserve it.
You walked in here on Friday afternoon and said
the smoke.
Every day for the last 2 years, you have said, I am John Buckeye.
I said once the playoff matchups were made, you asked what I thought. I said Ohio State's going to beat them by double digits. I said Ohio State's. I walked it all back and went John Vol. I joined General Nealon's Navy.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Is Hulkamania officially dead?
Yes.
When you have over 17,000 people live and you have Netflix premiere the biggest day in WWE history, and meanwhile they boo him out of the building?
Hulk Hogan, I'm coming for you.
That is your core audience, and they don't want it.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. We're inside the Built Ford Tough studio. And on Mondays in the second segment, I'm joined by ESPN's Michael Eaves. You see him on SportsCenter. He's here right now. Michael Eaves, it's GP. How you doing?
Morning, brother. What's cracking?
Everything's good in my world. I want to start, obviously, with the NFL playoffs. Let's go AFC Championship game. Final score, Chiefs 32, Bills 29. Obviously, controversy once again. Where are you at on the controversial spot that perhaps changed the outcome of the game?
Well, I do believe that in 2025, there is a more precise way of spotting the football. I mean, I felt that way for a while. And last night is just another example of why it's needed. Other sports use technology. Even the NFL uses technology that can be implemented to the game for a more fair assessment of how the game is played, right? And we're just not doing it. And it's unfortunate. But by the letter of the law, based on, the rules and how they're stated, there was nothing the officials could do, right? Because the two linesmen, side Joes on the other side, they have to be a certain distance away from the line of scrimmage, right? They have to be in order to do their job. So now you're having, human beings from a distance sort of eye something and then come in and place a ball down. And then when you review it, there was no clear vantage point of where the ball actually was. So you can't overturn it if you can't see it, because if you have to see it in order to spot it, right? If you can't see it, how can you spot it and then say, well, it was over the line? Like, we all believe the ball probably crossed the line, but the official has to be able to see that so he can physically put it down on the field. That didn't happen. So it's an unfortunate situation for the Bills in that situation that they didn't get a first down. Also, we don't know if they still win the game. But again, it's just hard to fathom in 2025 that we don't have a better way of doing that.
Well, Mike, I talked about this on Jessica's show earlier. Like, I can text my wife right now and say, drop me a pin, and I can know exactly where she's at any moment in the world. Yep. And yet we can't spot a football. Like, that just seems crazy to me. And I know we have technology, and there's chips and stuff, and they're all working on it. And what they tell us is that the technology isn't perfect yet. And I'd say, okay, I concede the point, but I bet it's better than what we got last night. Do we need to wait for the technology to be perfect, or we should just, hey, it's better than what we got, let's use it now?
Well, that's the thing. And you're like, all right, so if it's not perfect,
right,
and you get a situation and something doesn't turn out accurate and a team loses, then what happens from there, right? Like, where should the emphasis be? On getting it right the overwhelming majority of the time, or keeping the human element in the game? Like, we've taken some of that human element away from the referees through replay and other things, but it's like, oh, well, we're not quite ready to cross that line. I don't know what would be the reason to cross the line. If you ever want to get it right, then you would have crossed it a long time ago. That's as far as I'm concerned, because of the technology that you do have available. Yeah, it's not perfect, but man, look, tennis has been using technology to determine balls in and out for decades, right? Soccer has VAR. They have a line that's crossed. Even on the telecast, we have a line to where the first down marker is. Now, granted, that's just for television. It's not exactly accurate. But if you took it to the field, you could literally make it accurate with the same technology, at least where the line is. Now, what determines when the ball crosses the line with chips of that nature, that's a different aspect of the technology. But don't tell me we can't do it.
You and I and people like us, we talk for a living. We talk about things that happen within sports for a living. So I guess this is great for us, but I don't know that it's great for the NFL when leading up to the AFC Championship game, there's this narrative building that one way or another, they'll figure out how to get the Chiefs to the Super Bowl, cheating and rigged, and these types of words are being, and then you have that happen. I don't even know that they're connected at all. I just know that that could have been a thing that the exact same spot happens in week 4 and nobody even blinks really. It's just, but to have that conversation happen leading up to the game and then have that moment in a crucial part of the game is just, it feeds into narratives that were already there.
Well, the problem is when you have dynasties, those narratives always appear. Right. Same thing happened with Tom Brady and the Patriots. Right. Why do you think people hated them so much? Because they were so good. And then the belief becomes they're so good because the NFL wants them to be so good. Same thing happened in other sports as well, where it's the Yankees or the Bulls or the Lakers. We always get that. And I just think it's for some fans, because they're so emotionally involved in it, whether it's that particular team or not, or they root for another team, they just get jealous of other people's success. And so the only way they can accept someone else's success is because it has to be rigged, and the NFL or the NBA or Major League Baseball, they're determined for that team and that player and that coach to be in those positions. That's the only way they can justify it as far as their emotions are concerned. Here's the deal. Patrick Mahomes is just really damn good. He's Michael Jordan. He's Tiger Woods. Like, he's that good. And when you are that good, you get the breaks. Yeah. Same thing used to happen with Duke basketball. Yeah. They had the best players. They get the best breaks. It's just the way it is. And here's the deal. The only people who feel that way are non-Chiefs fans. Yeah. You ask the Chiefs, they'll point out all the calls they don't get because they believe people don't want them to be successful because they've won so many championships over the last several years. It's always your perspective determines your rage depending on who's winning and who's losing.
So it's interesting. You bring up the Patriots and some other dynasties, and I do think people actually got to a point where they hated the Patriots because they were cheating. They were actually cheating.
Good point.
You're right. Where are we at on people hating the Chiefs? To what degree? Because I don't know that I have a good grasp for this. As a family, we don't have a favorite football team. As a family, we root for the Mets, and so all my kids are in Mets stuff. And, you know, I'll apologize to them later in life for doing this to them. But as a family, we don't have a football team. But my kids love Patrick Mahomes. You said it right. He is their Michael Jordan. They're growing up with Mahomes the way I grew up with Jordan. They had, you know, he's like the homepage on their iPads. And so in my house, it's like we couldn't wait to get home last night and watch the AFC Championship game, and they wanted to see Patrick Mahomes. They want me to take them to Arrowhead to see Patrick Mahomes. So I'm like, people love the Chiefs, but I don't like my guy Bennett here. His wife's family's all Buffalo, and he's like, I don't know if people really love the Chiefs. Where are we at on? Has it turned on them? Do people actually hate Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and everything that's happening?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Not to the level we're talking about with other teams. Like, they don't hate him the way they used to hate Christian Laettner.
Gotcha.
Right? Or Bill Belichick. A lot of that also has to do with the personalities of the people involved, right? Laettner was a complete jerk on the basketball court, but you wanted him to be on your team. Bill Belichick is just, he looked like he's always miserable and doesn't want to talk to anybody, especially the media. So he didn't give off any type of, friendly vibes in that regard. Patrick Mahomes is in commercials all the time. He makes fun of himself and he has fun. Andy Reid, the head coach of the team, is in commercials. He makes fun of himself and he has fun. Travis Kelce does the dances on the field. And by the way, he's dating one of the most popular pop stars in all the world in Taylor Swift. They have a bunch of fans, dude. They have a bunch of fans. Now, you may hate their success, but they've given you no reason to hate them collectively as a team the way the Patriots did with cheating, or individually as coaches and players. They've done none of that. And so they may not love them and adore them the way they did with Michael Jordan and some other people, but I don't know why you would hate them other than their success.
That's right. Couple more things, and these are personal things, so I apologize, but I would love to get your perspective on them. As we were watching the AFC Championship game last night, just sort of out of nowhere, my little guy, 8 years old, said, "Dad, did you know it was 5 years ago today that Kobe Bryant died?" They just know Kobe Bryant through their iPads. You knew Kobe Bryant. That is still, of all the unexpected deaths, that's still the one that just is weird to me. Like, what in the world? The idea that Kobe Bryant isn't here is weird to me. And honestly, very little to do with the basketball stuff. I just really loved seeing post-playing Kobe Bryant and the father that he was, and it just breaks my heart that he's not here. But I didn't know Kobe Bryant. You knew Kobe Bryant. What do you think of when you think of him?
Well, a lot, because that day was probably the best and worst day of my career, quite honestly, because it was the first time I had to report the death of someone I knew personally, right? And I went on the air for 6 hours that day on ESPN. I was the one that came on with the breaking news and said that he had died in that helicopter crash in L.A. And so from a professional standpoint, it was, something that it's one of the reasons you do this job, to be ready for something like that. But you hate every second of it because you knew him personally, you had met his children, and you also know that there were other people on that helicopter as well that all of a sudden they were in a position they never expected to be in, losing their loved ones as well. So that was gut-wrenching. It was a gut punch. And, the thing about Kobe, if you look at his entire life, there were these different chapters of who he was, right? The brash kid coming out of high school in Philadelphia, and then the brash rookie who was throwing up air balls in a playoff game, then the guy who was a sidekick to Shaq to help him win 3 championships, then the guy who did it without Shaq and won 2 championships, put himself into the conversation of one of the greatest basketball players of all time, and then post-playing career, being that girl dad with his daughters, and especially Gigi, who was an aspiring basketball player. And then, guess what he was also doing with his production company? He won an Oscar for a short film that they produced about basketball. You just had all these different levels of Kobe, and so many of them were things that you just gravitated towards because of his personality, his demeanor, all these different things. And to your point, there's no way that man should be dead right now. There's no way he should have died that day. In so many regards of his basketball career, he's almost invincible. You think about all the injuries he played through, it's like, man, you can't kill Kobe Bryant. And then all of a sudden he's gone when you had no reason to expect that day when you woke up. I had no reason to expect that when I went to work that day. And then literally 30 minutes after I walked into our production area, I had to go on the air and say that he was dead. Like, that doesn't make sense. And it also doesn't make sense that it was 5 years ago. That just tells you how fast time flows. And, we had COVID a few months after that. It's just been a time vacuum. But it's still surreal when I think about it that it's been 5 years that he's gone.
Well, that's why you're great at what you do, because I don't know that everybody could have handled that situation the way you handled it. I don't think I could have.
You know what, Gary, I appreciate you saying that. And I'll say this, too. I said how I hated every second of it. But I'm so glad that I was there that day, because I lived in L.A. for 10 years, and I covered Kobe that entire time. But I also had perspective on the city that no one else at ESPN at that time had. right? So I was able to give the national audience more perspective on something that was kind of a local tragedy, but became a national story, right? And so I'm glad I was in that position, but I hated every second of it.
And it's good that you had an understanding of LA and having lived there, because I think for a lot of us, I don't think I had a proper understanding for what Kobe meant in LA. I knew Kobe was Kobe, but in LA, it's a different deal altogether. Evidence being, I've got a woman who's a close friend of mine. She married one of my best friends, and she's from LA. She cares nothing about sports. I don't even know if she knows what I do, all right? But, like, she loves Kobe Bryant. Just because she's from LA. She didn't care about basketball, but she loves Kobe Bryant. And so I don't think I understood that until after the fact. You obviously had an understanding of it having lived there. Last thing, then I'll get you out of here. You sent me something last week about Stuart Scott, and it was nominated for a 56th in NAACP Image Awards. And I was going to share it, and I went to do it. And when I went to do it, I realized that it is competing directly against, quote, NCAA basketball on CBS Sports. And so I was scared if I shared it, I'd get a text message from a boss like, yo, what's going on? So I didn't want to walk into that, but I did want to talk to you about it here, because one of the things I really admire about you is you have done everything you can do to keep your friend's legacy alive and his memory alive. I met Stuart Scott through you. I had a night out in New York City with you and Stuart Scott. I cherish that forever. I've told you this before. You didn't have any reason to invite me on that. I was just a young punk from Memphis, and you guys were operating in a different world. But you saw me, like, sitting at the bar, like, hey, well, you were nice. I'll never forget that. I try to do that for people sometimes too now that I'm a little older, looking at young people sometimes. I have friends who have passed. I don't know that I do anything remarkable to try to keep anybody's memory alive, but you've made this a point of your life. You give it real energy and time, and I respect it. And so just your thoughts on what it is you sent me, that SportsCenter feature, and just, you know, the life of Stuart Scott. Speaking of people who should still be here, that's another one.
I mean, Stuart, similar to Kobe and Jordan and Tiger, some of these other people we mentioned, he's literally an icon in our industry, and a cultural icon specifically to Black and brown people because of what he was able to accomplish. And that alone needs to be remembered for those who didn't necessarily witness it firsthand and want to understand some of the greatness that we produce in our culture. That's number one. Number two, he was a dear friend, a very close friend of mine. And anyone who's close to me, I'm very loyal to my friends. And as a result of that, anything that happens to them becomes very important to me. And lastly, actually this third part, Gary, trumps those first two that I've just mentioned, is the fact that his real legacy now is what his memorial fund is doing to fight cancer, right? Because in the later stages of his life, that's what he was really dedicated to. He was still doing his job. He's still being a parent to his daughters. But his real challenge then was sort of following the footsteps of Jim Valvano and trying to get as much money raised for cancer research as possible. And that's what the fund does. And especially research that relates specifically to people of color, because the cancer rates are much higher for those compared to white counterparts. And also they fund minority doctors who are trying to get into the field of cancer research and cancer treatment to give them a chance to find something maybe someone else didn't. So it's wide ranging in that respect. And this particular feature that we did, well, you know, it was 10 years since he died,
right,
a couple of days ago. And so trying to raise awareness yet again for that, and now for him, for this piece to be recognized by the NAACP for an Image Award, for me, it's recognition of obviously what he did as a cultural icon, but also it's still bringing more awareness to why these dollars and cents are needed in the fight for cancer research. And I want to say this specifically because people here, it's like, well, you're just worried about the Black and brown people. Here's what you have to understand about cancer research. When you're trying to find something that affects a certain people specifically, you end up understanding why it affects everybody, right? So if we can find out why prostate cancer is higher in Black men, you can find out ways to treat prostate cancer for everybody. And the problem is in most cancer research, they attack the broad and not the specific. When you fight both ends everybody has a greater chance to get better medicine, better treatment, and a longer life. And that's what that fund really does.
Well, listen, man, I didn't mean to make you talk about such heavy stuff at the end of this, but it's important stuff, and it's stuff I'd rather listen. I'd rather have conversations about anyway. And just know, and I'm sure you do. I don't know Stuart Scott's family, but I bet they think the world of you and everything that you're doing to keep that man's legacy and memory alive. So keep doing what you're doing, and just know that the rest of us really admire it, man. Thank you.
I appreciate you, brother. We got a 30 for 30 on Stuart Scott coming out within the next year or two, so be sure to check that out.
100% will. That's Michael Eaves. You'll see him on SportsCenter. Make sure you're following him on X at Michael Eaves. That's at Michael Eaves. Thanks, brother. I'll talk to you next week.
All right, man.
All right, bye-bye. That's Michael Eaves from ESPN. No, that's a true story. It's a beautiful feature, and obviously it's well done, and it probably win. And I went to share it, and it was like, there's 5 nominees, and like the first one is In the Margins on PBS. The second one's Roots of Resistance on PBS. Then it's this SportsCenter featured on Stuart Scott. The Prince of Death Row Records on YouTube TV, and then NCAA basketball on CBS Sports.
You got to be careful.
I was like, I gotta be careful because gotta be careful. Hey, Bennett, I got good news for you.
What's up?
Oh, it's a surprise.
Okay.
It's a surprise, but I got good news for you.
Good.
It's coming up a little later on in the show. When we come back, what I want to do is continue the conversation I had with Michael Eaves about the AFC Championship game, specifically the controversial call that has led to people screaming, like quite literally screaming into their iPhone cameras that the game was rigged. You have an interesting perspective on this. You married into a Bills family.
I did, yes.
You married into a family of, what do we call them? If we're Memphians, what are they?
God, that's a good question. What are
Buffalonians?
That sounds weird. Sounds weird.
They might be Buffalonians. You might have married into a family of Buffalonians.
I guess that's right.
You might have married into a family of Buffalonians.
Yeah.
So you have an interesting perspective. At my house last night, we were sitting around happy for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
I
was not.
We were having a blast.
It was not fun.
We got mom and dog over here, and the boys over here, and everything was good. Patrick Mahomes was holding a trophy, and Travis Kelce was kissing Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Everybody was happy in my house. I gather it wasn't like that at your house.
It was not.
We'll expand on that next.
When's the last time you guys played a little one-on-one?
It was, I don't even know, like maybe last summer, and there's some footage out there that doesn't want to be released. Like, he claims he took it easy on me, but I always beat him.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt, live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Sitting right next to me, am I right? The one and only Jay Huff. Were you comfortable there in your seat?
I'm great. I've been adjusting it, playing around with the height settings.
What are you exactly? 7'1" or 7 even? Or
I say 7'2" because I wear shoes.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizz Beat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GBWR.
Memphis Cat is back with his Heaven on Earth tour.
I tried to be incognito, but thanks to Shannon Sharp's loud mouth, the gig is up.
February 22nd in the FedEx Forum.
In my spare time, I infiltrate the Illuminati, look for their secrets, run back, tell y'all.
Don't miss this year's most talked about comedy icon live. He's back with brand new material, an unmatched wit, and an electrifying performance. Get tickets at Ticketmaster.com.
At the National Civil Rights Museum, history moves us forward. The question remains, How does history move you?
A night of comedy with Sebastian Maniscalco and Jim Gaffigan.
Now, is this a family? Is this your mother? Where is she? Is she in the crowd? You don't know where your mom is. The mom's up there. What kind of family is this? I'm sorry.
Sebastian Maniscalco and Jim Gaffigan.
I went ziplining for the last time.
What is wrong with us? Would you pay $200 to feel like you're about to die 6 times?
Live in Memphis, FedEx Forum, Friday, February 21st. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
It's your turn to drive into luxury at Southland Casino Hotel. Join us on Saturdays to win your share of up to $1 million in free play and prizes. And don't miss the chance to take home luxury itself during the grand finale drawings. Drive off in a 2025 Land Rover on February 1st or a 2025 Range Rover on March 1st. 2 vehicles, 2 finales, 1 million ways to enjoy luxury only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 or up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Penny Hardaway Tigers beat UAB 177 yesterday inside FedEx Forum. Dominating victory. We're going to get to that in the next segment. But before we do that, Bennett, I was just talking to Michael Eves about the AFC Championship game, the NFC Championship game, the Super Bowl we got coming up down in New Orleans. Chiefs, Eagles, Kansas City has opened as a 2-point favorite. What's interesting is while I think most of America was celebrating Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift and all things Chiefs, I think on some level, I think we like that. I know that's the way it was in my house, at least.
I got you.
You have a different perspective.
Yes.
You married into a Bills family.
I did, yes.
You married into a family filled with Buffalo natives.
Yes.
And I guess you bet you're tired of this.
Okay, so
this must be exhausting.
Okay, last night actually was like watching the pain in my wife's. First off, she quit watching the game twice. She could, and I had to go back and get her and be like, "No, they're coming back."
Now,
like,
is this a Buffalo thing? Because our old buddy Jeff Calkins, you remember Jeff Calkins?
Yes.
Okay, now he's from Buffalo.
Yes.
And he cares deeply about the Bills, and he also can't watch the games. Is this a Buffalo thing? This makes no sense to me.
I think that like that fan base always expects the pain. They always expect and anticipate the pain to come at some point. They know it's going to happen because they've what was it, 4 Super Bowls? They and just the way that they lost those, and you know the thing about it too is that I think even more painful for them now is this felt like their year. And I know they had to go on the road to Arrowhead to try to get that done and get to the Super Bowl, but I think a lot of people would say that this season, if you put them on a neutral field, I think a lot of people would say the Bills probably had the better team in this specific season than the Kansas City Chiefs, but the Chiefs are inevitable. And so you always expect that pain to come if you're a Bills fan. And man, I just felt sick for her and her family last night. Like she had, she dresses the boys up in like the Bills gear. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that, Kara. I don't like that.
We used to have to deal with that when I was when we were younger with Aiden because I graduated from Memphis, but like when Aiden was born, I was also the beat writer, so it was a little complicated. Like I graduated from Memphis, but I don't know that I want my son wearing Memphis stuff because there was these weird journalism rules
kind of
back
conflict
then.
Of
now I wouldn't
thing,
give a shit about any of it, but
right.
back then I did. Meantime, my wife graduated from Ole Miss, and she would want to put him in like an Ole Miss shirt, and then it'd be like the Memphis beat writers' kids running around in an Ole Miss shirt.
Yes.
And so then that was a problem. And so we were just like wearing, I don't know, Superman stuff.
Go team.
Yeah. So, but like these were things. Now I don't like my kids can be in anything. I couldn't care less. And if you want to post about it on a message board and get mad, buddy, knock yourself out. I do not care. But I did used to go through these things with you. How about there? Here's a similar one. Austin Riley, like lives down the street or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
All my little guys, they all look up to Austin Riley because he's the big leaguer, plays for the Braves from here, right?
Sure.
So they're always rocking Austin Riley jerseys and stuff. And my guys wanted to get an Austin Riley jersey, and I said no.
Dude,
I said no. You're not wearing a Braves jersey. My compromise was we got Austin Riley like caricature T-shirts. So it's like Austin Riley, the big head and whatever.
Yeah.
And that was my compromise. You can support Austin Riley, but we will not be wearing Brave jerseys around this house.
I totally get that. Obviously, I was sad for my wife, but I'm even more sad for my father-in-law because he lives and dies with that team, and every year he thinks
and it's been this way his whole life.
Yeah, but he's a little different in the sense, like most Bills fans expect the pain. He is like, this is our year. Like, this is it.
He always believes.
This is the team. This is the team. And so, man, to see that happen again, I think the Chiefs have beaten the Bills 4 times in the playoffs now. And it just... they're just inevitable, man. I know there was a lot made because coming into the game last night, obviously, and y'all talked about, the refs and how's it going to go? Are they going to get the calls and everything? And there was stuff for sure. I think the fourth down.
Was there a point in the house where people were yelling, this is rigged, this is crazy?
For sure. For sure. My wife was doing that. Especially
because that was crazy.
Well, the fourth down, when one ref is on one side of the line and one's on the other and one's calling it a first down and one's not, you go to review, you don't give it to them. I can understand the frustration.
Oh, if I'm a Bills fan, I'm losing my mind in that.
Yeah.
First off, it looked like a first down.
Yeah.
All right, just to the untrained eye, it looked like a first down. All right. Then it's just a situation. You're watching the two officials, and they both have dramatically different spots.
Yeah.
And
they're looking at each other like,
what do we do?
Yeah.
And it was just wrong. They even brought in Gene Steratore, and he was like, Gene doesn't like to. Gene is there to do a job, and that's tell the truth about what he sees.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't love calling his friends
right. He knows
wrong.
Those guys.
Yes, he knows those guys. Yep. And so they have to bring him on, and he's like, I think he got it by a third of the football because he did. But if Gene can see that, why can't you see that?
I know, man.
And that really could change. This is not hyperbole. Of course, a season. It could change the history of football.
Yeah. No, it's crazy that we live in a time where we're seeing some of the best quarterback play ever, obviously, in the league. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are going to go down as two of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. And they may never have a Super Bowl because of that guy.
It's very much like being Phil Mickelson and you're dealing with Tiger Woods. If Tiger Woods didn't exist, if Tiger Woods didn't exist, there are 5 other golfers who did exist who have Hall of Fame resumes and 3 Masters, and I'm exaggerating, but 4 majors, and instead they're stuck on 1 or 0, and it's because Tiger was always there. Patrick Mahomes is that guy. If you just remove him from the world, we're talking about Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen battling out, and one of them's got to get there, and one of them's winning it. Now I do think one of them will get there. Let me tell you when it's going to happen. First off, soon. This ain't going to last much longer. Travis Kelce ain't got much left. It's just not going to. You think it's going to keep going like this?
Bro, Patrick Mahomes is so far ahead.
And not even 30.
And so far ahead of where Tom Brady was. He's going to, he's going to go down as the GOAT. He is.
Okay, maybe I'm speaking out of turn. Maybe it will keep going like this. But here's where it pops for Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. Because honestly, this is my point. People didn't think it was going to happen this year.
Right.
People have been picking against the Chiefs all year long. Been downplaying them all year long.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a bunch of one-score victories, and they're just lucky, and they're pulling them out. But you can't be great like that. People didn't think it would last this long.
Yep.
Okay? So we'll see. Here's when it will happen. When Patrick Mahomes turns an ankle in the regular season, they lose 3 games, they lose home field advantage, and instead of playing that game yesterday in Kansas City, you're playing it up in Buffalo, and you got comparable teams, and you don't give him the ball at the end with a chance to win it. Instead, you know what you are? You're up 17 with 7 minutes to go.
That's a good like Tom Brady had the year where he tore his ACL. Somebody else wins the Super Bowl. I think you're right. I think that's gonna. He can't win it every year. My God, he might. He might, dude. It's crazy.
He might. He's obviously outrageous.
Mm-hmm.
It is. They've got one of the greatest coaches of all time, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and one of the greatest tight ends of all time. And the quarterback could go down as the greatest quarterback of all time. That conversation's coming. It's already here on some level.
It's already here.
But, it will certainly, if he's able to add this Super Bowl, And again, the Chiefs opened as 2-point favorites.
And I don't think anybody's ever three-peated.
No, it's never been done in Super Bowl history. That's when I say this could impact the history of professional football. Like, this could be the thing. That call could be the thing that springboards the Chiefs to doing something that's never been done in the NFL by anybody, right? So it really did, on some level, alter, or at least potentially alter, the history of the sport. And just to echo some of the other stuff I saw on social media last night, it just seems crazy to me and to others that this is the most popular sport in our country. I think revenue is in the 20 billions per year.
Mm-hmm.
My son can drop a pin for me in my phone from the other side of the world, and I will pretty much know exactly where he's at right now. But we're still relying on season-changing calls to be made by two dudes standing 30 yards from the football?
I'm with you,
What are we
dude.
doing?
I'm with you, man.
I know the technology isn't perfect because I've read stuff about this. There is technology to spot the ball. It exists. It's not perfect. Better than this?
Yeah.
Got to be better than this.
I think so.
Do you wait for the technology to be perfect, or do you wait for the technology to be better than what we got, which is flawed humans? Flawed humans who might come to the field with bias, because I'm not somebody who likes to yell rigged and cheated and all that stuff. But it's not a great look for your league when one of the narratives coming into the AFC Championship game was
they're cheating.
They're cheating.
Yeah, right.
They're getting calls that other people don't get. Patrick Mahomes is getting calls other people don't get. And then that happens.
Yeah.
That's just a perfect storm of, oh, buddy, I didn't watch any of the shows on ESPN this morning, but I bet I know what the A block was.
Yeah.
It's just not a good look, because even if it's completely unintentional and disconnected, and it's just something that happened. It happened in this game, but that same thing could have happened in a Steelers-Broncos game in week 4. All right? It's just something that happened. But when it happens immediately after everybody's saying, you know what's going to happen, they'll just cheat if they have to. If they have to they're going to give the Chiefs the Super Bowl. All right? They ain't doing a Super Bowl without Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. So they're going to give the Chiefs the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You just watch. When that's what some people are saying, all the way up into kickoff, and then that happens, ugh,
Yeah.
not great.
And listen, again, they haven't won it yet. Like, I do think the Eagles this is a better version of the Eagles than 2 years ago when they played in the Super Bowl. I mean, because they have Saquon Barkley, who's playing like an MVP. So, we'll see.
Speaking of narrative changing, he's like,
oh, dude.
I guess you can keep yelling that running backs don't matter, but like I keep watching this guy. He seems like he does. He seems like he does.
Yeah, man. So we'll see.
And then we had Derrick Henry, seemed like he did this year too.
Yeah, he had an insane season too. Yeah. So, yeah, man. I'm just I'm sick for my family. I'm sick for Bills fans, because it's just that they know that pain's coming at some point. They all know it.
And it's such a reversal on what any sensible person would tell you, what any therapist would tell you. Like, people who are consumed with doom and worry and anxiety, the best thing you could do is calm down.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be okay.
Yep.
I don't know that there's any way to prove this, but one of the things you'll see thrown around is like 95% of the things you worry about happening don't ever actually happen. You're just worried for no reason. Like, it's like, oh my God, I'm so worried my little girl's going to have a car accident. She's probably not going to.
Right.
All right? I mean, she might, but she's probably not going to.
Yep.
And you're worried to death over nothing. Except with Bills fans, they're constantly worried about how this is going to go badly.
Yep.
And then it always does.
It always does. It's the one. I do think it is the one that they are one of one as far as a fan base in sports that can have that feeling, and it's always true.
Yeah.
Like, they know that pain is coming.
It's coming.
I know I keep saying that, but it's just true when it applies to Bills fans. It sucks. I feel so bad for them, man.
So where do you think the country is now? Because earlier I said, well, everybody's sitting around rooting for Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, and you looked at me like I was crazy. Do people want the Chiefs to do this, or do people want them to get knocked off their high horse, as they say?
I think if it was any other team playing against the Chiefs, that yes, the whole country would be like knock them off their high horse.
But people hate the Eagles too?
I think people don't love the Eagles that much.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think people outside of Philly, like I'm not sure that like the Eagles are this beloved, Cinderella story.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I appreciate excellence. I'm not a hater. I'm an anti-hater. I appreciate excellence. I see excellence. I don't try to hate on it. I see excellence. I go, man, that's excellent. Mm-hmm. That's excellent. I appreciate excellence.
Yeah, I do too.
I want to be.
I'll get slapped if I root for the Chiefs in the.
I want to be in
Super Bowl.
2 weeks. I want to be in 2 weeks. I want to be sitting in my home with my family, and I want to let my boys experience greatness. I want them to see excellence. Mm-hmm. I want them to look back on that day and go, "Oh yeah, I remember that, Dad. We ordered food and we had some folks over, and we watched the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, become the first quarterback ever. The Chiefs become the first team ever to three-peat as Super Bowl champions. We watch history. We watch Kendrick. That was a great Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
Listen, our era is eating pretty good because we got the best of LeBron and Jordan, and we get the best of Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. Like, it's about as good as it gets in sports. It's GOAT season.
We're also probably going to have to live through World War III.
That's fair.
We're probably also going to have to live through
watch good sports
World
on the
War
way.
III, but we're going to have hell of a sports time on the way to World War III, right?
Yeah.
It's a good time to be alive.
Damn right it is.
Right up until we're not, Mm-hmm. Right up until the world blows up. It is wild out there in the world. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but
I've dabbled, yeah.
There's some wild stuff going on, man. I'm just trying to stay focused.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to stay focused on what I need to do and let the outside stuff be the outside stuff. Yeah. But, man, if I ever slip up and start reading, there's some wild stuff going on out there.
Crazy, yeah.
It's pretty wild out there. But congratulations to the Chiefs. Congratulations to the Eagles. They're fine representations of their conferences. I look forward to watching them compete in the Super Bowl. And my condolences to your family. I know that hurts. I'm not a Buffalo Bills fan, so I don't know that pain exactly. But I'm a Mets fan, and that's pain. That's real pain, too.
Yeah.
And so on a scale of 1 to 7, if Bills is 7, I may be like a 5, but I'm 5. I know pain.
Yeah, like for me,
I know pain. I've been through pain.
Like my team,
I've endured pain.
My team ain't ever gonna win. I mean, it's the Titans. Like whatever. It's the Bills, man. It's the Buffalo Bills. That's such a just historic franchise. I just it sucks for them. I feel bad.
Well, good luck next year or next time. Good luck. Just good luck going forward. I think it's gonna happen for you one day.
I hope so.
Got to just keep putting World War III off as long as we can.
That's right.
And then I think it'll happen for you someday.
That's
right.
Yeah.
Right? We come back. Penny Hardaway's Tigers won again. Oh, it was a big day inside FedEx Forum. The preseason AAC favorite was in town. The preseason AAC Player of the Year was in town. Both of them got embarrassed inside FedEx Forum. We'll talk about it next. Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South.
Is Hulkamania officially dead?
Yes.
When you have over 17,000 people live, and you have Netflix premiere the biggest day in WWE history. And meanwhile, they boo him out of the building?
Hulk Hogan, I'm coming for you!
That is your core audience, and they don't want it.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
So these are a pair of Kobe 11 Elite Low. These were part of a collaboration with FC Barcelona.
I've never seen these in person. The detail on these are amazing.
It's Flyknit, the front of the shoe is Flyknit. It's got the lunar line, I remember, and the
insole is removable.
Yeah. The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
How about them
Tigers?
Go.
Beat Tulane in a game that nobody called. Nobody thought was going to happen. They were a 2-touchdown underdog, and they got the win.
Number 25 in the AP right now, number 24 in the coaches poll now. So this is a Tigers football team that's going to end the regular season ranked in both major polls, possibly ranked in the CFP as well, with 10 wins. That's a damn good season.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Sitting right next to me, am I right? The one and only Jay Huff. Were you comfortable there in your seat?
I'm great. I've been adjusting it, playing around with the height settings.
What are you exactly? 7'1" or 7 even? Or
I say 7'2" because I wear shoes.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizz where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Memphis Cat is back with his Heaven on Earth tour.
I tried to be incognito, but thanks to Shannon Sharp's loud mouth, the gig is up.
February 22nd in the FedEx Forum.
In my spare time, I infiltrate the Illuminati. Look for their secrets. Run back. Tell y'all.
Don't miss this year's most talked about comedy icon live. He's back with brand new material, an unmatched wit, and an electrifying performance. Get tickets at Ticketmaster.com.
At the National Civil Rights Museum, history moves us forward. The question remains, how does history move you?
Keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom now.
A night of comedy with Sebastian Maniscalco and Jim Gaffigan.
Now, is this a family? Is this your mother? Where is she? Is she in the crowd? You don't know where your mom is. The mom's up there. What kind of family is this? I'm sorry.
Sebastian Maniscalco and Jim Gaffigan.
I went ziplining for the last time.
What is wrong with us? Would you pay $200 to feel like you're about to die 6 times?
Live in Memphis, FedEx Forum, Friday, February 21st. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
It's your turn to drive into luxury at Southland Casino Hotel. Join us on Saturdays to win your share of up to $1 million in free play and prizes. And don't miss the chance to take home luxury itself during the grand finale drawings. Drive off in a 2025 Land Rover on February 1st or a 2025 Range Rover on March 1st. 2 vehicles, 2 finales, 1 million ways to enjoy luxury only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 or up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either, and that's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays, in the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's orthosouth at orthosouth.org. Now, I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
Final score, Memphis 100, UAB 77. It was a beatdown inside FedEx Forum, a beatdown in the Battle of the Bones. Bennett Doyle, I want to give you credit. I want to give you credit.
Okay.
Because as I was sitting here last week, I remember I wasn't sitting here last week. I was sitting somewhere else last week. But we were talking.
Yep.
And we were talking about Tiger basketball. And you suggested that Penny Hardaway should move Dane Danger into the starting lineup.
Yes.
Now, I know you weren't the only one suggesting it,
Sure.
but I know you were one of the people suggesting it. And Penny Hardaway clearly took your advice, did it, and the results were encouraging. Memphis got out to a big lead, maintained a comfortable advantage for much of the game, and blasted the preseason favorite in the AAC while Dane Danger had one of the best games, not just at Memphis, but of his entire college career.
Yeah, and I think...
Pat yourself on the back if you want to. God knows I would.
Yeah, I just think it was kind of like a no-brainer in the sense that he's obviously been playing great. He's the best big on this team, at least offensively he is. And you know, you in the AAC, man, like you put him in that starting lineup and they can just come out and blitz teams. And that's exactly what happened in that game. Like I don't know, like once NCAA tournament comes around, once you're playing a better level of competition, right. But like in this league, I just put all your best players on the floor to start the game and just run teams out of the gym.
Like, I don't mean to disparage Yaxel Lindeborg, all right? Because he is a talented college basketball player.
Yeah.
He's fine.
Yeah.
But for the most part, to your point, when Memphis is playing basketball games, it's high major players against mid-major players. Mm-hmm. Like UAB cannot shop on the same aisles that Memphis is shopping on. Mm-hmm. They ain't got that kind of money. Like the truth is, Memphis is at a place in NIL with basketball where it can't compete player for player with Kansas or Arkansas or Kentucky or Alabama probably, but you can go get a player. You can go beat them for a player. You just can't beat them for 8. But you could beat them for 1. UAB can't get involved in these conversations. Tyrese Hunter is in the transfer portal. UAB cannot get involved in that conversation. Mm-hmm. Memphis can get involved in that conversation. Dane Danger is in the transfer portal. UAB cannot get involved in that conversation. But Memphis can get involved in that conversation. And that is largely true with Memphis and everybody else in the AAC. So think about this for a second. Memphis wasn't playing Rice yesterday. Memphis was playing the preseason favorite in the AAC. This is the team the AAC coaches told you is better than Memphis. And what did I tell you? You can go, I ain't right about everything, but what did I say about this one? This is nothing more than those coaches saying they do not believe in Penny Hardaway. Because the talent level between the Memphis roster and every other roster in the AAC ain't even close.
Right.
Not even close. I'm not telling you, this is what I would say in the preseason, that Memphis is going to be one of the 20 best teams in the country. 10 best, but they should win this league easily because they have way better players than everybody else. And that was so obvious yesterday.
Yeah, it was crystal clear. I do like that it got a little chippy, and there was some talking after the game, and it was a quick handshake between Andy Kennedy and Penny Hardaway afterwards. Cause we'll play them March 2nd. We'll go there, so that gives you something to at least look forward to on the AAC schedule for the Tigers. That one could get tense.
You know, yeah. I don't know the relationship between Andy and Penny. Both of those guys are pretty easy to get along with in passing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, in passing.
Sure.
Like, I don't know what it's like to deal with either one of them on a day-to-day basis or work for them, but just in passing, hey, how you doing? Good to see you.
Yeah.
They're both very easy to get along with. My guess would be that wasn't one where you just lost. You just got your brains beat in from start to finish.
Yeah.
That's a hard 2 hours to spend on national TV. Just getting your head beat in for 2 straight hours by a team that you were in the preseason, at least according to your coaches in your league, expected to be better than. So perhaps that's in like blow-by handshakes in college basketball. They're normal.
Yeah.
They're more normal than they're not.
I really meant the back and forth between Yaxel and Dane Danger afterwards.
Oh, well, like Dane afterwards saying,
I wasn't familiar. What was it? What was the quote?
Like I just didn't really know anything about him.
That's what it was. It was something like that.
We started scouting UAB.
And then Yaxel said, "Congrats on the best game of your career, bro." So that's kind of fun. That'd be something to look forward to.
It's just sort of like it's disrespectful on some level, but also totally believable. And just a reminder of the league that you play in. Mm. Why would Dane Danger know who UAB's best player is? This dude's been playing in the Big Ten. You think he cares about UAB's best player? Mm-hmm. All right. So disrespectful on some level. I don't even know who Buddy was. But also totally I believe that Dane Danger didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I bet you most Memphis fans didn't know who he was until yesterday. But now we do, and maybe that second meeting down in Birmingham will be fun. But more than that, just a reminder that Memphis is going to win this league, and Memphis should win this league probably every year. Memphis should be to the AAC as long as they're in this nightmare. You should be to the AAC what Gonzaga has been to the WCC. Except you don't even have a St. Mary's in here, if we're being honest. There ain't even a St. Mary's in here with you. You ain't even got a Randy Bennett to deal with.
That's right.
So this is what they should be doing. And it's what they are doing. And so, listen, it's a fun season so far. Now 5-2 in quadrant 1, 9-3 in the first 2 quadrants. I've got Memphis at 15th in the top 25 and 1. We'll see where they are in the AP poll when it is released a little later on today.
Number 2.
Elsewhere in college basketball, among the biggest games of the weekend, it involved another in-state school, the Tennessee Vols. They went down to Auburn, had to play Bruce Pearl's top-ranked Tigers. Janai Broome, the National Player of the Year contender, made his return to the court after suffering an ankle injury in a victory at South Carolina 2 weeks earlier. Didn't start, but came in the game early. 16 points, 13 rebounds, 4 blocks. He was terrific. Auburn was down 4 points with less than 2 minutes to play. It was a fun Saturday night.
That was a good game.
We had the wrestling on NBC.
Yep.
We had Grizz game on. Auburn, Tennessee. Before that, you had Duke, Wake Forest, the incredible Kansas-Houston game. It's a fun Saturday night. So we got this on. And if you're watching, Auburn's down 4 at home. Less than 2 to play. It's like, okay, they might take a loss here. And then they just flipped it. 6-0 run in like 97 seconds. And they took a 4-point deficit, turned it into a 2-point win. So Auburn is now 18-1 overall. And you ready for this? 11-1 in quadrant 1. I just told you Memphis is 5-2 in quadrant 1. Think about this for a second. Memphis is having an awesome year. I have Memphis ranked 15th in the top 25 and 1. Memphis doesn't even have half as many quadrant 1 wins as Auburn.
That's wild.
Auburn has 11 quadrant 1 wins. Nobody else has 11. You ready for this? Nobody else has 10. Nobody else has 9. Only Oregon has 8. Then nobody has 7. And then there's a few handful of teams that have 6. Auburn has 3 more wins in the first quadrant than anybody else in the country. And 5 more wins in the first quadrant than everybody in the country except Oregon. This is one of the greatest 19-game starts to a college basketball season ever in terms of quality of resume. And we have reached the point, and I wrote about this in the top 25 and 1 this morning, where Auburn could lose this week and probably still be number 1, or at least should still be number 1. You ready for this? Auburn has 2 games this week, at LSU on Wednesday, at Ole Miss on Saturday. Both of those are quadrant 1 opportunities because they're road games. So let's say, just for the sake of the conversation, Auburn loses at LSU on Wednesday. When they wake up on Thursday, you know what they'll be? 18-2 and 11-2 in quadrant 1. The team sitting at number 2 in the top 25 and 1 and in the AP poll is Duke. So let's say Auburn goes and loses Wednesday at LSU and drops to 18-2 overall, 11-2 in quadrant 1. On Thursday morning, you know what Duke's going to be? Best case scenario? 18-2, same record, but only 5-2 in quadrant 1. So why would you then decide on Thursday morning the team that's 11-2 in quadrant 1 has to be below the team that's 5-2 in quadrant 1? Think about it like a golf tournament. You know what Auburn is right now? Auburn's like on the 14th hole with a 3-shot lead over the entire field. So I would advise Auburn, if Auburn were a golfer, you don't want to hit this tee shot in the rough, miss the green on your approach, chip, 2-putt, bogey, you know, whatever. But if you do, you know what? You're still better than everybody else.
Yeah.
You still got a 2-shot lead on the field. You're fine. Auburn can afford a loss. How about this? Auburn will, if Auburn loses on Wednesday night, I'll probably just keep them. In fact, I'm certain I'll just keep them number 1 on Thursday. And it'll be unpopular with Duke fans and some other people who aren't listening to what I'm actually saying. But even if Auburn loses this week, you could Auburn could go 0-2 this week and still probably have the best resume in the country. That's the best way to put it. Auburn could probably go 0-2 this week, and Jerry Palm would wake up on Sunday and say Auburn should still be the number 1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament. They are so far ahead of the rest of the pack. Bruce Pearl, maybe on his way to a second Final Four in Auburn history and perhaps first national championship. He's got an awesome college basketball team.
Number 3.
So, after all the wrestling and basketball and everything else is over on Saturday, you get Saturday Night Live. Host Timothy Chalamet, musical guest Timothy Chalamet. Did you see any of it then?
I did. Well, I saw his opening monologue and I saw his performances. I didn't see a lot of the skits.
The skits weren't great. Some of them were. Yeah. I like this cast of Saturday Night Live. Like that, I think they're pretty.
I do too.
I think they're pretty good. Chalamet was great. I thought he was great.
Yeah. Oh, I was really surprised by the musical performance. And I haven't seen A Complete Unknown yet, and I know he performed like the songs in that, but I thought he was great. I thought the musical performance I was really surprised by it, to be honest.
He was great.
Yeah.
And he is great. And it was just a reminder, and I should be clear, most people, that was their opinion. Wow, Timothy Chalamet was great. And then there's just haters on the internet.
Oh, sure.
It's just like, I'm just, because I wanted to see, what's the internet saying? And I do the little Twitter search, and most of it was great. Oh, wow, he was great. Because he didn't sing like the big Bob Dylan songs that are in the movie. It was more obscure, not completely obscure songs. Like, these are songs I've heard, but they're not the songs that are going to be in a Complete Unknown commercial, right?
Yeah.
And he was even nervous about it. He sort of acknowledged in the monologue. He said, Saturday Night Live's got me here. I'm the host and the musical guest. And so this is either a great opportunity or like a prank, like a setup, like I'm being set up to fail. We'll see. Because most times when somebody serves both of those roles, and tonight, the host is also the musical guest. You know who it usually is? Somebody. It's like Ariana Grande.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like somebody who can kind of act, but definitely sing. It's much easier for singers to dabble in acting than it is for actors to dabble in singing.
Right.
This guy's not a musician. He's not a singer. He's not a guitar player, piano player, harmonica player. Or at least he wasn't. He is all those things now. He taught himself extensive training, like 4 or 5 years of extensive training to learn how to play guitar, to learn how to sing in this way. And he pulled it off. Like it's one thing to sit at Huey's on a little bitty stage and play Bob Dylan songs for 4 people while they're eating, Huey burgers. That's one thing. This is a massive stage. And Bob Dylan's going to see it. Whether Bob Dylan will ever acknowledge it or not, you have to know Bob Dylan's going to see me being him.
Yep.
Bob Dylan's going to see me play. And I wish Bob Dylan would just...
He acknowledged the movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wish he'd put his arm around him.
Yeah.
And say, hey, I'm proud of you. You did a great job with this.
Yeah.
Because you can't overstate what I imagine that would mean to Timothy Chalamet. But Dylan's just not that kind of personality.
That's right.
And I don't know that it'll ever happen, but that's a wish of mine. I wish he'd put his arm around it, because I've watched so many interviews with Timothy Chalamet about this, and there was the one he did with Zayn that I talked to you about it before, I think. Timothy Chalamet tells the story. He had turned down a bunch of interviews but wanted to do this one because this was one that is under the music umbrella.
Yeah.
Like Zayn talks to Kendrick Lamar and Jay-Z and, Billie Eilish and whatever. And so Timothy Chalamet was like, I want to talk to you. And among the reasons, he was like, I was just honored that you even reached out, because I know you usually just talk to musicians and I'm not a musician. And Zayn said, well, we'll talk about that. And Timothy Chalamet sort of lit up. He's like, thank you. The implication was, I know you're not a traditional musician, but you've made yourself into one. You can do this. You can perform. And I thought Saturday night he performed brilliantly, live. He did it. And then I get on the internet and people are like, well, why don't he play his own songs? I mean, Jesus Christ.
Appreciate greatness.
He is, I think I read this, the youngest person to ever be nominated for multiple Best Actor.
Yeah. And
Oscars?
he's like, make no mistake, this SNL thing, he is making his push to try to get that Best Actor award. Like, he'll be one of the youngest probably to ever win it, I would think.
He's 29 years old.
Yeah.
I believe that's right. And I think what I read was he's the youngest to ever be nominated for Best Actor Academy Awards twice at this age. I hope he wins it.
Yeah.
Because I think I can't speak to every other performance that's nominated. I haven't seen them all.
Yep.
I know he was great. And more than that, I know he cares about it.
Oh, he cares. Yeah, he wants it.
He wants it, and he has worked like crazy to get. He like tells stories like this is a busy guy and a famous guy, and he's in a relationship with Kylie Jenner, but he tells stories like, yes, I went to Minneapolis to see Bob's childhood home, and flew there, and then I drove from there back to New York, and I made the same drive that our understanding is that he made to get from Minnesota to New York, and I just wanted to have as much of that experience as I could have. And they were like, oh, really? So who'd you go with? Nobody. He said it was very important for me to do this by myself. So he just leaves his girlfriend for 3 weeks to go do things that another actor might say, I don't need to do that. And he's like, no, I think I do. I need to see this place. I need to feel this place. I need to drive these roads. I need to experience this. He put his life into this for years and years and years. I'd like to see him get rewarded for it. I don't know that he will, but I'd like to see it. At the Oscars, him be the one that gets his name called. It's all over YouTube. You can judge for yourself, but I don't know. When I watched him perform on Saturday night, I was like, I bet he was nervous, and he killed it. I was happy for him. I thought he was great.
Number 4.
Yusuf Nurkic and the Phoenix Suns seem to be on the outs. Interesting little NBA story. I talked to Jessica about it a little bit earlier. Just sort of as the Grizzlies are sitting here, 6-game winning streak, and Ja and Zach Edey are buddy cops now. We're in a pretty good place, and it's just a reminder that we're not always in a good place, and we don't need that reminder. We went through last season.
That's right.
But you don't take peaceful times for granted. We don't always have them, but we seem to have them right now in Memphis. Everything's, I don't ever want to say there's no drama, but very little seems like. Certainly nothing bubbling to the surface, nothing that's dominating, mainstream news. Everything seems to be going pretty well, and it's just not like that in the NBA everywhere. In Miami, they got the biggest of messes, and in Phoenix, here's a mess. Not only are they trying to deal with the Bradley Beal thing, they got this Yusuf Nurkic problem as well. Do you see the story? So he granted an interview to the local media in Phoenix over the weekend. And they're like, so what's your, because he's been benched, right? They're trying to move him too. He's got $18 million on the books, and he's been benched. And so they were like, what's your relationship like with you and coach? We have no relationship.
Oh, nice.
So when's the last time you talked to him? 2 months ago? He hasn't talked to his coach in 2 months. He's a basketball player on a basketball team and hasn't talked to his coach for 2 months. Think about that.
Yeah, he's logging DMPs. Yep.
Think about that. So that's where we're at. That's what they're dealing with in Phoenix. And then you got a whole slew of teams that are just bad. And then you got other teams that are wondering whether they need to fire their coach or not. And all things considered, we don't have any of that, Bennett. So what I'm trying to tell you is to appreciate what you have. We have peaceful times here in Memphis. We have winning records here in Memphis. We don't have anybody, far as I know, refusing to talk to Taylor Jenkins for 2 months at a time. Can you imagine? Think about this, what we would be talking about if G.G. Jackson was over in the other studio talking to Jarvis, and he was like, and Jarvis was like, so what's your relationship like with Taylor Jenkins? We don't have one. When's the last time you talked to him? Hadn't talked to him in 2 months. You'd be like, what is going on?
Right.
That's what's happening in Phoenix right now. We don't have those issues.
Man, that's again, that just goes what we talked about, I know that they've got, one of the greatest players of all time. That's one of those teams I'd be fine with seeing in the playoffs. I would be totally cool with it.
Because they're broken.
They're broken.
They're
That's
broken.
It.
They're broken.
Fractured.
They're fractured.
That's right.
They're broken team.
Now they might go get Jimmy Butler, and I might change my mind.
Well, that's the thing. Even then, I don't even know if I believe in that. But
I think the Grizzlies could still beat them even if they went and got Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, but that'll get in your head a little bit. They do got they do got amazing people at 3 different positions.
That's right.
They got nothing else, but they got that. But they're broken right now.
Yeah.
They have players who don't even talk to their coaches. We're living through peaceful times right now, Ben. It won't always be like this, so we should enjoy it. That's what I think.
Yeah.
All right.
Number 5.
Okay. There's a fella out there named George Motz. You familiar with George Motz?
No.
Okay.
What's up, George?
What's up, George? He's an acclaimed burger historian.
Okay. How do you achieve that title?
I don't know exactly.
Acclaimed burger historian. Okay.
But titles aren't always the hardest thing to come by. And they can oftentimes be misleading. I told this story before. One time I was on Mike Krzyzewski. Mike Krzyzewski has a Sirius XM show. I think he still might have it.
I knew that, yeah.
Okay. So one time I get a text message. It's like, hey, could you join Coach K on his show?
Of course.
Of course. Yeah, I'll talk to Coach K. So I go on the show. And I had known him a little bit at this point. Not like we're best friends or anything, but like we knew who each other were. And so I go on the show, and he says, and our next guest is Gary Parrish, who's a college basketball expert for CBS Sports. That's the way he introduced me in his Mike Krzyzewski voice. And he says, Gary, let me ask you this, because I don't think I've ever asked you this. How do you, like if somebody asked me, what would I tell them? How do you become a college basketball expert? And I said, I think you just got to get a network to hire you and call you that.
Yeah,
that's really
right.
all. That's really all it took. I went from a Tiger basketball beat writer to a college basketball expert.
That's pretty cool.
Overnight. I mean, it happened just like that. It was like one day I was a Tiger basketball beat writer, and the next day I was college basketball expert.
Yeah.
CBS Sport. I just needed somebody to put it on a lower third and throw it on TV.
I need to get some kind of expertise title.
That's the thing, Bennett. Like whatever you want. Just,
Physical media expert.
yeah, like we just got to get it put on a business card.
I'll just put it on my bio. Good.
That's
Okay.
all. You just have to put it on your. Like Tony Barnhart is Mr. College Football. He just decided he wanted to be.
That's man.
Who is it? And now my next guest is Mr. College Football. How'd you get to be Mr. College Football? I just put it in my Twitter bio.
Greatest nickname ever.
The best.
Yeah.
I'm a little
he
mad
killed
at,
it with that.
I'm a little mad at myself.
I know.
I'm a little mad at myself. I didn't think of just being Mr. College Basketball. Right. So I don't know how George Motz became the acclaimed burger historian that he is, but that's what they tell me he is.
Okay.
I guess he just decided it's what he wanted to do. He just decided there ain't enough burger historians in this world. I'm going to be one. So he decided to become one. And he now has put together a list. And he has a list of the top 3 fast food burgers in the United States of America. What do you think George Motz said is the greatest fast food burger in America? Now, you might be able to go to some special shop in some special town and find you the best burger. Like they used to have the Mr. Good Burger down by St. Jude down there. You ever go down there? Roxy's? Woo! I think something happened, and I don't know if everything's still going the way it once was
never
going.
had it.
It was amazing. But we ain't talking about that. We talking about fast food. There's one of these, it could theoretically be anywhere.
Okay. I'm going to say In-N-Out.
Is number 1.
Yep. I'm going to say In-N-Out. I got to experience it last year for the first time ever.
And your review?
It lived up to the expectations. Yeah.
I mean, really is just great. Like just
it's so good.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, you ain't going to get abs eating them.
No.
It ain't good for you. But buddy, animal style that thing and let's go.
Yeah, it was great. Like that one really lived up. So I get why.
Like it's almost a tradition.
I get the lore, yeah.
You land in Las Vegas, you land in LA. We got to get to the hotel, but on the way, we probably going to pass an In-N-Out. You want to get an In-N-Out on the way to the hotel? That's a perfect way to start a Vegas trip.
Yep. So I figured that would be on the list. Is Freddy's on there? Is Freddy's popular enough?
Freddy's didn't make it. Didn't make it.
I'll just say McDonald's just because it's like a classic.
McDonald's did not make the list.
Okay.
But here's my thing with hamburgers. Like the McDonald's hamburger is very different than the In-N-Out hamburger. The McDonald's hamburger is going to be very different than the Mr. Good Burger, right?
Of course.
It's still fine.
It's okay.
Burgers are like pizza to me. They're almost always, like, regardless of where you get the burger from, it's a burger, it's a pizza, it's probably going to be okay.
That's fine.
There's different levels to it.
Like an In-N-Out burger and a McDonald's burger. That's 2 different stratospheres.
No, 2 different stratospheres.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if I handed you a McDonald's burger, you wouldn't.
I'd eat it.
I would eat it.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like a good
I agree with that.
I like a good quarter pounder. But McDonald's did not make the list.
Okay.
In fact, none of those,
None
like
of
you're
the big
thinking,
time. Okay.
McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, none of them make the list. But buddy, I'll rock with a Baconator.
Yeah, that's good stuff too. Okay,
I'll rock with a Baconator
I'm trying to
at
even think of
Wendy's.
like what my choices could. Shake Shack, is that on there?
Shake Shack did not make it, but Steak and Shake did.
Steak and Shake, okay, same thing.
Is number 2.
Yeah.
Steak and Shake is number 2. And number 3, Five Guys.
Okay.
Five Guys is great. It just is.
I never really get it that much. I
never get it either, but it is good. Five Guys is good.
It's pretty good.
Five Guys is good. The other one I would throw in there, Shake Shack. Yeah, Shake Shack.
That one's good.
Shake Shack's really good.
That one's really good. I like smash burgers. Those are so good.
Smash burgers.
Yeah, I'm a smash burger kind of guy. That's why I like Freddy's. You ever had Freddy's?
Yes. I've had them all.
Freddy's.
I love
good stuff.
I love a good hamburger. I went on a thing. I get in these little patterns.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, all right, I'm going to be in all these cities. I'm going to go to
try all the different. Yeah.
Okay, but I get in these ways. Okay, now I'm going to go to the best restaurant I can go to in any city.
Okay.
So I'm like in Milwaukee, and I'm just looking up where's the Michelin restaurant in Milwaukee. That's where I'm going tonight. So I went to a lot of these types of places just because I was trying to get out and do things. I went through a phase where I was like, I want to have the best hamburger everywhere I go. That was my goal. I realize all this is stupid, but this is the way I live my life.
Yeah.
I just come up with new things to do. I go, okay, now I decided I want to have hamburgers. And I would go around New York City.
Trying all the different...
I would jump on the subway just to go get a hamburger in Lower Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Gigi Hadid on Jimmy Fallon one night. She's like, and my favorite hamburger in New York is this place. I was like, oh, let me look that up. It was 10 minutes from my hotel. I said, I'm going there tonight.
Yeah.
I love a good hamburger.
I like them.
I can appreciate a good hamburger.
Dare I say overrated? I know. It's like an American classic, right?
I'd say almost better than anything. A great hamburger.
Mm-hmm.
A perfect hamburger. If you told me I could have anything to eat, a perfect hamburger might be the favorite. It'd be on the list of favorite things.
I'm never like I need a hamburger ever in my life. Ever. I don't know what's wrong with me.
I do it sometimes.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
Sometimes
I like a burger, but I'm never seeking it.
Sometimes I just go, man, I bet I'd...
It's because we don't have an In-N-Out here.
That's right.
Yeah.
But we got Baconators.
Expand, yeah.
We got Baconators everywhere.
We do.
Baconators on every corner. Sometimes I like to bite a Baconator.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I might have to get a burger today.
Get you one, Betty.
Yeah, I might have to get a burger today.
Get you one. And rest in peace to that good burger, unless it's still alive.
I don't know. I can't confirm or deny.
It went away for a minute.
Okay.
I'll have to do some more research. Rest in peace to it, unless it's still alive. And if it's still alive, somebody tell me, because I'd like to have one.
Yeah.
I remember it fondly.
Okay.
Be back in a second.
Is Hulkamania officially dead?
Yes.
When you have over 17,000 people live and you have Netflix premiere the biggest day in WWE history, and meanwhile they boo him out of the building?
Hulk Hogan, I'm coming for you!
That is your core audience, and they don't want it.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
So these are a pair of Kobe 11 Elite Low. These were part of a collaboration with FC Barcelona.
I've never seen these in person. The detail on these are amazing.
It's Flyknit, like, you know, the front of the shoe is Flyknit. It's got the lunar line, I remember, and the insole
is removable.
Yeah. The Sneak Fest show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
How about them Tigers? Go.
Beat Tulane in a game that nobody called. Nobody thought was going to happen. They were a 2-touchdown underdog, and they got the win.
Number 25 in the AP right now, number 24 in the coaches poll right now. So this is a Tigers football team that's going to end the regular season ranked in both major polls, possibly ranked in the CFP as well, with 10 wins. That's a damn good season.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Morant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. with special guests Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
I'm not going to let you get away with this.
Yeah, that's fine. I deserve it.
You walked in here on Friday afternoon and said
the smoke
every day for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
You have said, I am John Buckeye.
I said once the playoff matchups were made, you asked what I thought. I said Ohio State's going to beat them by double digits. I said Ohio State's. I walked it all back and went John Ball. I joined General Nealon's Navy.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Is Hulkamania officially dead?
Yes.
When you have over 17,000 people live and you have Netflix premiere the biggest day in WWE history, and meanwhile they boo him out of the building?
Hulk Hogan, I'm coming for you.
That is your core audience, and they don't want it.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. Let's wrap this whole thing up with GP's Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we learn today?
Whole bunch of stuff, but we mostly focused on your Memphis Grizzlies 6-game winning streak heading into tonight's game in Midtown Manhattan against the Knicks. 31-15, that's the Grizz record. 12-10 away from home. We got a 6:30 tip tonight inside Madison Square Garden. Knicks favored by 3.5. Disrespectful to the surging Grizzlies.
I'm excited about this game.
Oh, it's going to be a blast.
Yeah, you're going to this game, right?
I'm going.
Vernon's going too. Damn, man, everybody's going.
Yeah, Vernon's already there. I gotta catch a plane. I gotta catch a plane and make sure it takes off on time and lands safely and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But the plan, yes, is to be inside Madison Square Garden. I've been to see the Grizzlies at Barclays Center against the Nets because there's every once in a while the Grizzlies will be in New York while I'm in New York. So I've gone to Brooklyn to see them, and tonight I'll go to the Garden to see him. And Vernon, I think Vernon said this will be his first time ever at the Garden, which is amazing.
That's bucket list. I gotta get there.
It
sometime.
really is just awesome, and it's not even just being inside the Garden. It's really the walk to the Garden. It's just you're in the middle of just. Like Midtown Manhattan is just skyscrapers. Just boom. And then there it is. Just right in the middle of everything.
It's cool.
It's just right there. I mean, like if you're walking down like 8th Avenue and you walk all the way down to the Garden and you have to turn on like whatever street it is, it's like there's this really neat visual. You're walking through skyscrapers and that's just all you see. And then you get to this one corner and you look to your left and you see the Garden and the Empire State Building. They're both just right there. And it's that's where 1 million people take pictures every day. It's like, wow, these are two of the most famous things in the world. And I'm looking at both of them right now. They're right in front of me right now. I can't wait. I'm going to walk to the Garden tonight, Bennett. Unless it's really cold, then I might take a car.
That's cool.
Yeah, but Grizzlies trying to extend their winning streak to 7. Tip 6:30. Can't wait.
What's today's biggest game?
All right, I'm going to get you to pick something else, though, Bennett.
Let's go.
Because we got multiple rooting interests tonight. We ain't just rooting for the Grizz. We're rooting against the Rockets. They're in Boston. This is good for us. Celtics are 6.5-point favorites. Totals 222.5. Bennett, I don't know if you know how math works, but the Grizz and Rockets are basically tied right now for second in the West. Rockets are percentage points ahead. But this is all we need to happen tonight. The Celtics to beat the Rockets inside TD Garden. The Grizzlies to beat the Knicks inside Madison Square Garden. And guess who's alone in second place in the Western Conference standings by the time we go to bed tonight?
It would be your Memphis Grizzlies.
That's right. So how are you going to pick this? Lay points for me.
Yeah, give me the Celtics. God, it's 6.5.
6.5 is a big number.
I don't like that one bit. Actually, I'll take that back. Give me the Rockets.
Bet it.
Yeah, give me the Rockets.
We want to go to bed alone in second place.
No, give me the Rockets.
Bet it. We want to go to bed alone in second place.
Yeah, I'm not.
I know you don't always want to go to bed alone, but tonight you'd like to go to bed alone in second place.
I think it'll be tight. They've been great, man. I got to give Houston credit. They've been great. We get them here on Thursday.
They are also 15-6 away from home, so they're good outside of Houston as well. Bennett said take the points. I want to root for the Celtics, but Bennett said take the points. So I guess we got different interests tonight.
What are we watching on TV?
Raw on Netflix, 7 o'clock. It's gonna be the best night for me. I get to go. I'm gonna go watch the Grizz beat the Knicks inside Madison Square Garden, and then I'm gonna come back to my room. You know what I'm gonna do?
Flip on Raw.
Raw on Netflix.
Nice.
It's going to be a good night for me.
We got anything good happening tonight?
Well, did you watch the Saturday night main event?
I did. Yeah. Well, I had it on my phone at the Grizzlies game.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun. Like, it's only 2 hours, which is fine. I don't need much more than that. Saturday night was great. You had all the basketball on, and then you got the Saturday night main event wrestling, and then it went straight into the Chappelle Glorilla rerun of SNL. So we just sat there and watched that. And then we got some X Games stuff came on. There was like ski jumpers.
Yeah.
We watched that for a minute.
Nice.
And then Timothy Chalamet came. It was a fun Saturday night. Tonight, we continue. Here's my thing. They launch Raw on Netflix. Here's The Rock. Here's Roman. And we ain't seen nobody since.
I know. We really haven't.
Where's everybody
Where
at?
are they?
Where's everybody at?
Yeah. I need a Roman update tonight.
I need a Roman. I need to see my original tribal chief, the only tribal chief. I'd like to see my it's been a minute since I'd seen my tribal chief. Netflix tonight, 7 o'clock. Raw is war.
What's the best thing?
I don't think they call it that anymore.
I know, but it's still, I got a shirt that says it. I got a shirt that says it.
I miss Raw as war.
I got a shirt that says it. I don't know if it's the best thing, but remember all that stuff I told you about Auburn being so far ahead of the field? 11-1 in quadrant 1. I wrote about that as the lead of the top 25-1. Memphis 15th in the top 25-1. You can find that cbssports.com.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Tomorrow's Tuesday. Tuesday's always fun. I'll wake up in New York City.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll be celebrating the Grizzlies' victory on the road, a Rockets' loss on the road. Hopefully we'll wake up alone in second in the Western Conference standings. I know you don't always like to wake up alone, Bennett. But would you like to wake up alone in second in the Western Conference standings?
Absolutely.
Would you like to talk about that tomorrow?
I want that 2 seed.
Then let's talk about that tomorrow. Let's speak it into existence. If LeVar Ball can speak Lonzo getting drafted by the Lakers into existence, I don't know why we can't do this. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Say it. How do you plan to wake up tomorrow morning, Bennett?
As the 2 seed in the Western, alone in the 2 seed in the Western Conference
That's
standings.
Good enough.
Yes.
That's good enough. That's what I plan to do as well. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll enjoy mine. We're going to meet back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Rep your hood.